Hello everyone, good to have you on the stream today. Welcome to today's stream. It's Monday, and we're going to kick off a stream today instead of tomorrow. And tomorrow we actually won't be doing any stream due to it's my birthday, and I will take the day off and enjoying time for myself instead. But there are things I want to get started with today and continue working on, so I figured no better that time than just the present to get things sorted and adjusted here. So if you joined into today's stream, welcome, happy to have you. If you watch this after the stream is complete, then hopefully this is useful for you as well. But what we will be doing today is, as we always do, continue working on MLOps.net and building out functionality and adding some really awesome features to the library. And I'm super excited that we continue to do that. There are just more and more things to add every time, so happy to have you here. And without further ado, I want to kind of get straight into it. But should you have any questions, as always, I am right here for you. Just post them anytime. You can do that through Twitter or Slack or anything else, and I'll be happy to answer them. Alright, so let's see, let me get some things adjusted here real quick, and we'll kind of get started on things we want to do today. Alright, so first things first, for those who haven't had a chance to look, the repo address is on the center of the screen right now. It's github.com/aslotte/mlops.net, and you can access the repo here, you can contribute to the repo if you want to, and you can just look at new issues and so forth. So definitely check it out if you are curious of what we're doing. Okay. As of lately here, just actually this morning, what we did was we merged the PR that added support for SQL Server. So mlops.net SQL Server is our latest library, and we hopefully have a chance today to publish that to NuGet.org as well, to make it available for anyone who wants to use the library. But one thing that we discovered when doing that is that there's no good way for us right now to run integration tests against SQL Server, against this specific package. So what I want to do today is make sure that our integration tests against this package runs in GitHub. And something I discovered just recently is GitHub service containers. And we're going to look at that and see how we can use those to run integration tests for us. But first of all, what we want to do is familiar ourselves with the integration tests that we have and understand what they are and how we can leverage them for what we want to do. So we do have a bunch of integration tests here for SQL Server, and they're nothing special. They're just kind of creating an experiment, creating a run, doing some lifecycle management, trading times tests, and logging metrics and so forth. Things we probably are pretty aware of already. And if I run these, I have a SQL Server instance here. So I have a SQL Server Management Studio. We can open it up real quick, just look at. And I can run it locally, and I can see how things build here. So let me open it up and just kind of get familiar with the tests themselves, and let's see how we can put them in GitHub in an easy way. Okay. Here we go. So we see here we have our SQL Express here instance, and we have an MLNet database, and we can actually remove this one. It's not something that we need. It was just me playing around earlier. So if you have this one, and if you go ahead and run the tests here, what I expect to happen is a database being created, and the data is being run here. So we can see we have these ones right here. There you go, 7 of them. So let me go ahead and run them and see what happens. And as you can see, they have been run before and they passed already, but I want to do it with you. So the first one takes about 10 seconds or 12 seconds to run, and that's when it's creating the database, make sure it's created. And the other ones after that is very fast, because it just cleans up the database for the subsequent steps. So we'll see this one is running, it passes, and everything else is kind of done directly. And if you look here, we don't have it here, but if you go on localhost here, we should have one here. This one is Crap, we'll remove that. So we'll see what happens here is that it's creating an mlops.net underscore integration test database, which has the tables that represent our scheme, of course, because we're using Entity Framework in the backend here to create these and manage them. And this makes sense because we have this connection string here, it's local, using Kerberos for trusted connection, and it's hitting this database here, localhost. All good, nothing special so far, right? It's pretty standard stuff. And in our DB context, we can see that we are doing calling database ensure created before. So if it doesn't exist, we create it. And in our tier down here, what we do is we actually save the database because it's too slow to remove it and recreate it. But instead we just clean up the datasets here. So very plain, very simple. So that's all good. But we can't necessarily install SQL Server on our Ubuntu runners and GitHub actions. It's kind of pointless. We don't want to do that. We also don't want to have to force anyone using the library to install SQL Server Express. So what can you do? Well, what you can do is something called GitHub Service Containers. Service Containers, right? So what are GitHub Service Containers? Let's see if this one is maybe it's a good one. So GitHub Service Containers, and you can read the documentation at github.com if you wanted to, but basically what it is that you can spin up a container of your choice in a GitHub instance, either both running within your kind of image that you currently run your builds and tests on, or a separate one, and you can kind of connect them together if you want to. But that allows us, in theory, to spin up a SQL Server instance, so a SQL Server Docker image as a container, and we can then connect directly to that one and run our test against that one instead. That's in theory what we could do here. And it seems to be pretty straightforward here. What we need to do is more or less say it's we can call this is the name of it, so this will be integration test SQL Server, I guess, and we have to specify the agent type, so Ubuntu would be the case, and what else we will do here is specify image name as in Docker Hub image. So we need a good image here that makes sense. And after that, I think we just need to specify the ports. So that'll be 1433 for us for SQL Server, for TCP connection. And in theory, that should work, and we should be able to run it mostly like a local host again. So to test that, what we can do is we can spin up a container locally, right? And we can try to run those tests against that container locally first. So let's do that. So Docker Hub SQL Server, right? And we can find here that we have an image in Docker Hub for these. And we could, for example, take the Ubuntu image here for 2019, and we will pull that image by doing this command right here, but with the image name and tag instead here. So if you open up Visual Studio Code here, I'll actually already pull that one down, but we can do it and look at it again here. So if we look at my Docker Hub extension here in Visual Studio Code, we'll let that load for a little bit here. We can see, or we should see, that I have a SQL Server image here, and I already pulled down, in this case, 2017 version here, which is useful. So you can see here that we can copy this and do some fun stuff with this. So for example, what I would do here is, in our case, actually we have pulled it already, so we don't need to do that, but we can say is we need to run it. So for our instances here, if we want to run the 2019 one, and we'll just do 2017 for now actually, is we can do that. Say docker run, we'll set the environmental variables for accept EULA for yes, and we set a password here as well for the SA account. So we used to do this in our connection string as well. And since this is just local testing, it's not so secure or so worried about this, but I'll do to mlops for the win, which I think is a great password. And this is just local testing, so it's not like a security risk having it anyway. So we'll do mlops for the win. Great password, right? And what we can do is then kick this off. and apparently I didn't have that image because I probably did it with the 19 one, but it's pulling it down for me, which is great. Let me actually stop that because I don't need to do that. Let me instead change that to the other image here instead, because I think I have that already. No need to pull down something new here. Let's see. One second here. Actually, let's skip that for now. What I'm surprised about here is I should have it, but is it a CU20 that I have? Okay, I have this one right here. Let's run that instead. Okay, there we go. So that's kicked off right here, and it's running, and it looks like it's working fine here. And we can see that what I have right now is this password, so we can copy that and change the connection string here for this to be accurate. So in theory right now, if I change this one from Kerberos to actually putting it in here, so like SA, so user ID being SA, right? And my password being this one. All I should have to do here is also specify the port here, so be 433. And in theory, I should be able to do this. And I can check already now that can I connect to this specific instance or not. So I can actually connect to this Docker image directly from SQL Server Management Studio. By running the database image here, I can probably do localhost 1433. And that should give me the Docker image rather than my actual local SQL server. And you can see here, yep, looks like it's at least connecting, because I can't use Kerberos here. I don't have that, so I need to log in with credentials. And we can use the SA account here and password. Let's see. Not Active Directory, of course. That's better. Alright, let's see, what is the issue here? So that should work, but it's not working. So let's look at why that is not working. It's running here. The password should be properly working. And localhost 433. Something is not working. So what we can do is then we can stop it and we can run it interactively, and like that we can see what's going on here instead. And I think there is a way to do that. Docker run interactive. I always forget what that is called, but we can find that, and that will give us more outputs here. So okay, so of course it's as simple as that. So we can do is stop this local image here. We can probably actually just right click on it as well. Oh, okay, no. Can I do this? Run interactive, okay. Well, actually that's gonna help because we need a password here. That's not gonna help. Okay. But we can do that here. We're learning, right? So let's see if we run this interactively, if we can get some output here. Huh. It does not want to split anything out, which is surprising. Oh. Well. Okay. Surprisingly it's running, so let's try at least run a unit test here, integration test, and see if they pass, because I'm surprised that we are not getting any output here. but we have changed connection string to be accordingly here, so let's just run one of these here and see if it passes. Something seems to be a little bit up here with our local container. Okay, so it's failing. Same reason for the SQL Server Management Studio, which is okay. So user ID SA, password is there, and that should run locally. I'm a little bit surprised actually why this is not running. Oh, that's because I didn't set the password properly, I think. Sorry, my bad. Let's see if that's something we can do. Something about. We need the SA password here, I see. Alright, that was a typo mistake, but we'll fix that. Stop. So I need to specify the key as well here, of course. Alright, so there we go. Now it's running. If I now connect using SQL Server Management Studio to my container here, see if that started. It may not have started yet, so give it a moment here. There we go. Now it's up and running. Perfect. So we can see we have no databases here, but we are now connected to our container. Instead of running against our local SQL Server Express, we have our container instead. So if I run my integration test now locally, I expect them to pass, and I expect them to run against my container, which I think is really cool. And we'll leverage this when we run them in the cloud as well. So let's see here, let's pass. Okay, so now they're passing, perfect. And they're passing against the container. And in theory what we could do is protect this connection string here with like a user secret or something like that. But honestly it's just a localhost connection string and it's only running a container that we don't care about. So I'm happy keeping this connection string here with the secrets in it because there's just no use to store it anywhere else. Alright, so now we have it running locally, so that's good. So let me create a branch here and we're going to start finishing up with the GitHub actions here, because that's going to be the key here, getting that working. And I think we have a 134 is the issue that we want to do here. So let's do that real quick here. New branch, issue 134. Alright. So how do we do the GitHub actions? Well, that's going to be fun, and that's going to be a little bit different. Update the connection string here. So what I think we're going to do is, instead of having everything one, we're going to have a separate workflow file for this change. So we're going to have one for the CI build, like the unit test and the real build and package push stuff, and then we have a separate file just for the integration test themselves here. So again, we can do that by, I would say, let's go ahead and I will copy paste the existing workflow file, I think, and try to make that one a new one. And let's go ahead and open up, let me go actually to this location in GitHub here. 1 second, I'll move it over here. Okay, so we're now in the MLOps file here. Get some more space here. Alright, and we have this GitHub folder here. This is where we have our workflow files. So we currently have one called .core YAML, and that has CI build, and I don't like that name, so we should rename that, so that'd be CI. And then we'll just copy paste this one, and we'll call this one, we'll call it integration test SQL server. That sounds perfect. And let's open this up in code and let's look at what we can do here. Do some magic here. So first of all, the name is going to be, I think we're going to name something more useful, integration tests, and I will call it mlops.net SQL server. So we can kind of, I think we're going to have this integration test per package here and check for each package instead. And I do want it to run on master branch and pull request here as well. And that's a good thing. So the only thing I would change here is that we don't want to push things here. No push packages, we don't publish any packages, because that's going to be happening in the CI build by itself. We don't need to run any unit tests itself, but we need to run integration tests. And since that's the only thing happening here, we'll just call it tests. And we already added the category here called integration test SQL server. So what I want to do here is I want to run all of those here. Okay, that's all good so far, and I think the rest is fine. The only thing here, if let's say I run this, what's going to happen? Well, it's not going to be able to connect to SQL Server database because the Ubuntu runner and agent does not have SQL Server installed locally, so that's not going to work. So what we need to do here is spin up a container in our agent that we can hit from SQL Server or from our test. So we can do that by looking at the documentation here, and it will need to be something like this, right? And I think a better example is this here. So what you do, you copy, I guess. So go ahead and copy this, and it's going to be, I think, here. It's going to take the place of this, I think. Jobs. I feel like that should be further to the side. That's better. Alright, so the first one is a label. So we can call this integration test, I guess. Test SQL server. Okay. And then we have to run it on a Ubuntu agent. We can't run it on anything else, and that's fine. We want to do it anyway. And now comes the fun stuff here. So now we have to label. This is just a name, but this is going to be the service container if we need access later. And for us, it's going to be called SQL Server. And the image here is the fun part. Okay. So the image is the one we want to run in from Docker Hub. So we went to the Docker Hub, right? And we wanted the SQL Server image. So the one I think we want to run is this one right here. And yes. So, but in general, it is this one. This is the actual image, and then we want to tag here for the specific Ubuntu version here. So we'll go ahead and get that first, and I want a specific one. I want this one. Feature tags, like that. I think that's good. Oh, sorry, that was wrong place. I don't want it right there, but I want it instead of Redis here. Okay. Good. So now we have specified the image. What we're saying here is that please kick off a container within this Ubuntu agent. The container should be of this image type here. And please also go ahead and map my ports here. So any incoming traffic, so from the integration tests themselves on 1433, please go straight to 1433, because that's going to be what the SQL server is listening to anyway. So we don't want to make it complicated here. That should be it. Okay. So I think if we do this, it should be working by default here, and we should get 2 checks in GitHub here. What do you all think? Anything you would change? Anything that we're missing here? I think this will give us the bare minimum of things we want to do here. So we can try this by pushing this and seeing how it works. I'm going to rename this CI file as well, because I don't like the name there. So it's called CI, that's fine. Open this up here. We'll just call it CI. And we'll leave the rest here, it's fine. Okay. So we rename some stuff here. Remove that one. Alright, so added integration test workflow file. Alright, so that's going to push up to GitHub. If you open a PR now, I'm hoping that we will get 2 checks here. So we'll call this PR start running SQL Server integration tests as part of PR builds or builds. Okay, and this is going to resolve fixes 134, I think. our library using GitHub service containers to spin up SQL Server image to okay. So let's see if it's going to kick anything off here. So we can see here we have our build already. This is going to be the general one. We can actually rename that if we wanted to. But we also see now we have the integration tests going on instead here. So this is the name of the general thing here, and we see that we have the specific step that we are running here as well. So let's see, does that make sense? Yeah, I think it makes sense. And one of them is required because it has to do with the branch protections, and we can make both required honestly as well. That probably makes sense here. But we are mostly concerned about this one here, so let's look at this one, what it's doing here. So right now it's spinning up the containers. So it's going to run the service containers now and make sure that those are up and running before anything else. So let's wait and see. How are you all doing otherwise on this Monday? Having a good time? It is sweltering here in Washington DC. Humid and warm outside. Trying to stay inside today. Alright, containers are spinning up. Yes, how's it going, guys? I was hoping to do that, not today I think, but we should definitely do that. I don't actually stream Mondays, Dota. I just decided to do it today. I'm gonna take tomorrow off for streaming, so I did my streaming today instead. But yes, we're on stream day. But Steve, when it comes to Azure, definitely, I think we need to add some tests for that as well, and that's something we should look into for sure. We can definitely use my storage account for that. That used to be a secret anyway. Okay, so that's building. Let's see if I forgot something here. Oh, I forgot stuff. I know I forgot stuff. So this is not going to work, and it's going to break. But we'll see. I'll show you why it breaks here first. These tests are going to break. Come on. Go ahead and fail already. Okay. They failed. Which is expected, because I forgot some stuff here. You can see here they failed because we can't log in probably. Yeah. And the issue here specifically is that if you look at our workflow file here, we do not specify environmental variables here. Oh, good. Thank you, Steve. I was actually Googling just like 5 minutes yesterday night if there was any service containers for that scenario. And I just didn't find any right then. But that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. It's something like that. We can just emulate the storage. Perfect. Thank you. Let's check that out. Just read off of this. Alright, so what we're missing here is that we're spinning up the image. We're starting it, but we're not specifying our environmental variables. So I think what we need to do is called environment. And I think what we need to do here is actually accept. Let's look at what it's called here. Because we ran them before, right? And the words and spelling stuff, so I'm gonna just do it here. So we need to do this one to yes, I think. And then we need to set the password as well here. And this is the local password and stuff. I actually don't think I need a dash actually. It seems like it's fine. So the password is already in the code, and it's just password for the container, so there's no real reason to keep it a secret or anything else. But I've already added to the secret just in case we would want to change it later. And the secret is called just the SQL Server password. So in case we want to change it later, it's there, but it's not a secret really. It's just spinning up a container anyway. Okay, so that should fix it. Let's go ahead and push that up. Yeah, I'm not a big expert exactly on the dashes here, but I don't think we need dashes for these specific ones. They should be fine anyway. I think the tab should be enough here to separate them out. But you may be right though. We'll see in a bit here if it works or not. And Steve, let me check the Azure rights thing at the same time here while that is running. Not that, I think. But it's pretty. This is fantastic. This is great. Alright. Alright. So we have storage container things here, and we have queue storage and everything else. And I'm sure we have table storage too somewhere. It seems like this was moved to... Okay, version 3. Okay, that's something to look for sure. That looks very promising, guys. Let's see if this runs. But I think the idea here is that we probably want to have a separate workflow file for integration tests for each different package we have. I think that makes sense for anything that has specific dependencies. So we would probably have another workflow file for the Azure implementations, for the storage containers, and blob storage. Yeah, I kind of saw it too. It seems like it's missing. We could still do the blob storage test over upload model sync, so this will still work. But I wonder if... yeah, it's kind of surprising. Does V2 already have it? Doesn't really say, honestly. Blob queue. Yeah, table endpoint, okay. Okay, we can do the V2 one instead. Alright, so now it's running integration tests, so I'm hoping it will pass this time. But it may not, we'll see. It certainly should at least. Alright, here we go, look at that. So it wasn't too much work, honestly. We already made all integration tests pass now. So now we're running SQL Server integration test against a container in our GitHub Actions. That's awesome. I think that's really cool. Maybe you all have seen it already before. I discovered certain service containers like 2 days ago, and I was like, wow, this is fantastic. These are really cool stuff here. So I think this specific PR here is now done. What we've done here is we renamed some stuff, and we have added a specific workflow file for SQL Server here. And we have our environment variables here, and things work like it's intended here. So I'm going to ask for review here, and continue our working on other stuff here instead. Is it ready for a review? Alright, so I think we can choose between two things now, guys. Either we go ahead and publish new versions here to NuGet.org. I do not have a staging branch in Git now. I have a master branch and we have feature branches. So either we go ahead and push those on NuGet.org, or what we can also do is we can also go ahead and look at Azure right part here. Because right now there's... Oop, not that, sorry. There are no integration tests right now for SQL Server, or for Azure here. We have like 0. We only have unit tests, and we would need to add some more integration tests here. But we would also need to be able to run them, I think. Otherwise it would be pointless. So we could add a test project here as well to get that working. Do you have any favorites? Either Azurite, add in like one integration test just to get the pipeline up and running, so you can do it yourself. The alternative, of course, is to publish packages to NuGet. Go away. I think what I want to do is I want to start looking at the integration test then, if you don't have a strong opinion. Alright, cool. So I think what we want to do here is we want to add a separate project here for SQL Server, right? Let's look at that. We have a winner, right? So let's go and add a new project here, and we'll do that for Azure here. And I probably won't finish this, but we can get something up at least so you can continue working on it if you want to. If at least we can get something working here, that'd be cool. Unit test project, C#. So we'll call this mlops.net .azure integration tests, right? Oh, we don't want the framework here. We don't want that. I feel like I had it here earlier. Here you go. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Well, we can at least do, right, is at least we can create a test for a blob storage and a model upload. That will at least give us something for starter, at least a framework itself. And we'll test whatever we can test. So I want to make sure we kind of follow the structure we have already. So I know we will need all this stuff anyway, so I'll get a copy that over for now. And another thing I want is we don't need to warn on missing comments in our test projects, because that's pointless. And let's see, what else do we want here? We definitely want to reference our Azure project here. Let's see. Okay. So let's go ahead and add a test here. So similarly as we have for the SQL Server here, we want to test for the data store here. And in our case, it's going to be called storage account metadata store. So we can just copy that name, add a class for this, call it tests, test class, make it public one, and let's try to write one single test here. That's all we need, I think. So test method. And in our case, it's going to be upload model as sync, I'm pretty sure, because that's going to be... Actually, what we want to do here is a storage count model repository, because that's the blob storage. So we'll go ahead and change that. Cool. And let's see. So we'll do a test against this one right here. That's kind of what we want to check here. And this one is uploading a model, so we want to check that, and then we want to download it, make sure it exists. So let's wing this a bit. Given a model, well, should succeed. Let's do that for now. Not a great name. All right. So what do we do here? What do we do here? Well, first of all, we can do initialize method here for our test on our unit on our test here. Call it test initialize. And this is going to be just we can call it, I think we started calling it multiple things here. I'm going to call it SUT. That seems to be what a lot of people want to call it. I don't really care as long as we are kind of consistent in this for whatever unit we're testing. But I think this is going to be the simplest one to do. And I think this is an internal one, so we have to make it internal visible, which makes sense. And we'll just go ahead and use this one right here. Okay. Ooh, actually, sorry. We already have one, but let's see. I will do it separately though. Alright. So that should be able to give us... Yes, perfect. Okay, and it probably takes a connection string. That makes sense. I don't know what that is right now. We'll look at the Azure in just a bit and to figure that out. But for now, they should give us a storage account model repository. Okay. I'm glad I have you on the line, Steve, so you can at least make sure I follow some kind of beautiful standards here. And I will gotta update the same one here. Because I did the same thing on the SQL Server part here, and it makes more sense like that. You are right, Steve. I would call out the same thing, honestly. Alright, so that should be good. Run ID, file path, that's what we need to upload the model async. So we will need to create a model. That's what we need to do here. Test initialize. So in our arrange here, what we need to do here is create a model. It doesn't really matter what it is. It could be a text file. So what we can do is see what is the simplest thing to do here. We honestly just need to upload. We need to save something on disk and then we need to upload it directly, more or less. So it probably makes most sense just to save a text file and then upload that text file. That's going to be as accurate as it is right now. And I wonder if we want to use something similar to what we do with SQLite here. I think that probably makes sense, yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. I kind of like that. Let's call it data here. And let's have a file here. Actually don't need a new item. Let's just add a... Let's go to the folder instead and add a text file or a zip file. Okay. And we'll rename this one. Can I do that? Visual Studio? I'm using Visual Studio, yes. Okay, that's not gonna change it. I hate changing these kind of things, but that's okay. I don't really care, honestly. It's okay. It's okay. It can be a text file. It doesn't really matter if it's a zip file or not. Yeah, I think Visual Studio Code is great though. I just don't use it right now, but it's definitely a great thing as well that I like. Alright, cool. So we got that working. So now we have, we should have a file here. And what we can do here is we can say copy always here at least. So we can make sure we get it with us. And I have to figure out where that location is later, but that's okay. So in our act here, we would upload model async. We have to create a run. So that's a different thing here. Okay. And we have to just pass in the file path. What it will do is, and the run doesn't really matter honestly, because the only thing the run does is a GUID. So that's going to be the name of the file. So we'll just say run ID, GUID, new GUID. So it's just an ID, run ID. And then I wonder if we can do a relative path here or not. We'll see. I'm curious. And we'll do this as an async method. Okay. Nice. Alright, so now we're coming to... You ever started a startup? You mean a company? I have never started a startup, no. I would love to though, at some point. You just need to have a good idea, I guess, or enough good people around me to do it with. I think starting it by yourself is a really bad idea. definitely is too much work on one person, and you spread the risk a lot when you have multiple people with their different ideas and thoughts. Alright, so now things come down to Azure, because if I run it right now, it's not going to work, because we want it locally. So I want to get Azure right here, and so Dota and Steve and others, do you feel like makes sense to run the version 2 here? Does it have a Docker image at all? Maybe it doesn't have a Docker image. So you got a Docker image here, right? So we could probably do that. Oh, okay, you have to build yourself. I see. Yes, I mean, so what you can do with Dota, the issue here with this is the issue right here. It's not available in Docker Hub, so that sucks. Because the way the GitHub service container works is that you specify the image name that is available in Docker Hub. So if it's not available, we can't really fetch it. So we're actually getting forced here to use version 3, because that's available in GitHub Docker Hub here, and that's okay. So Docker Hub here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this down. Let's see what it says here. Okay. So we can run it here. This is the name of it. Okay. I wonder what the connection string is though if you want to use it. So if you, let's say we do this locally. What is the connection string here? And this is this, okay. This is if you want a specific place. Right. So I'm wondering about the connection string here. Yes, I do have that installed. So we can definitely run it here. Like, here's a terminal. I got my images here. So I'm gonna at least. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I think the ports are fine. I guess it's localhost then. Usually connection strings to Azure has a very specific format. When starting Azure from the command line. Okay, so here you can customize some stuff here. That's good. Trying to read up on it at the same time. So here's a general key, okay. So when you start it up, this is going to be key ID, I guess. Okay, here we go, connection strings. Alright, perfect. So this is going to be, I guess, the general one right here. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Alright, so let's try this. So I'm gonna pull it. There's a chance that you're gonna see some frame drops because I'm gonna pull down the image at the same time as I'm streaming. So my apologies for that if that's the case. But, sorry. That's what we have to do, unfortunately. So let me go up and copy that again. We had the image here somewhere. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be okay. So this is the one we want, right? Copy. Okay, here we go. Just pulling it down, so hopefully it won't kill my speed here. Hope you're still with me. I see some dropped frames, but hopefully it's not too bad. Alright, pulling this down. Alright, so now it's working. So, I've got to pull it down, and it is listening on this port. So let's try to add a connection string for this, and see if this is working. Alright, so this should be what we need. This is the blob storage container thing. So we should be able to use this one. Let's go back to the studio now and see if we can, for fun, get this working. So endpoint, local storage. This is this general stuff here. You can. I mean, I think you definitely should be able to code on your Mac though. It should definitely be possible. There's also Visual Studio for Mac as well. We're gonna make some changes later, so it's gonna be easy to use Visual Studio Code as well, I think. But alright. So I'm gonna run this test real quick here and see if first of all we're getting a connection here to this one. This would be great if it works, honestly. It's really cool if we can have like a this kind of storage container. Actually, right. I'm learning so much stuff. And Doda, it's really cool that you're joining in, by the way. Thank you for tuning in on an off day like this. And everyone else here as well. Okay, so I created properly. So let's see if this works. So that failed, I think. Let me see why. Something broke there. Or no, it passed. Oh, it's because okay. Because I have no asserts, that's why. But let me write the assert here. I think what happened is probably, yeah. I don't know if that was the case, but let's see. Get model async. And run ID. And we'll need a new stream, right? So let's see. What is the proper way of doing this? I always forget working with streams. I know we have a SQLite integration test that should test this. Here we go. Local file repository. Good stuff. Alright, here we go. Memory stream, okay. That makes sense to me. I'll call it memory stream though, because I make sure it's not shortened. Alright. So we're not gonna have anything here, I think. It's going to be nothing, because that's going to be in the memory stream. What we can do here is say memory stream should not be null for now. Alright, let's run it again and see if you can understand what's going on here. I think it's something with my container not completely working here. So let's look at the container. It's still running here. And working, I think. So it seems like it's failing here on blob container client here. Account name makes no sense here. Model repository. Okay, and I probably don't have a model repository called this, but it says create not exist async, so it should be doing that for me. Okay, so that passed actually, interesting. So that seems like it's working properly. So it may have to do with the upload here. We'll see. Okay, that doesn't blow up at least. That's good. So let's see now if we can download this down here. Okay, so that's nothing in here though. It looks pretty empty to me. But it's not null, so it's gonna pass. But the length is 0, so we don't want that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking at the same time here. It should be greater than 0 at least. Yeah, if I should really use Visual Studio Code more during the streams as well to get myself familiar with it. Alright, so we have some issues here. I think it's more or less working, but we are not getting anything down here. So what's the difference here with these two? Club endpoint HP. Okay, this is all the endpoints. That makes sense. Okay, good, good. Change music. So, do we need to do like a something like this? So we have connection string, that's fine. That's kind of what we're doing already, I think. I'm just checking here what's going on. That's what we're doing. Connection string, container name. Yeah, so we're doing this last one here and the second one. Okay. So we could download the Source Explorer here and look at this. What I'm wondering here is why we're not getting anything back. That is concerning to me. Alright, let me get the Azure Storage Explorer locally. I may have it actually already. Let's see. Okay, so let's have a look at what is in that container, if we can. Because otherwise I don't think we will get very smart here. Okay, so we'll have a look at this container here and see what's going on. I think it's working, honestly. I think we just need to figure out what's really verify it. Okay. Dismiss. Close. So what we can do here is account, I guess. Cancel. Can I add like a new one? That's fine. Add account. Here we go. Attach the local emulator, okay? And what else did it say here? Local one. Okay. Next. Let's see if we can get this working. Okay. Apparently didn't want to connect. Let's try again. So something is not working here. Local storage. So I feel like this is exactly the thing that we want to do though. I'm surprised that I couldn't see anything. So this looks like it's accurate, but it looks like it can't connect to it. This doesn't tell me anything. UIDs of undefined. I don't know what that means. It seems like something is not connecting properly. let me go ahead and close this and update it and see if that helps. Because I haven't used it for a while locally, and then maybe that we just need to update the Storage Explorer here locally. Yeah, so there should be in the database though. There should be just hitting the container by itself here. So we shouldn't need that. And we can see here that so this is interesting here, right? So we see here that we have activity at a couple of minutes ago. So if I run a test here, what I expect here is one put and one get, and it seems like we're getting that. And I'm wondering if actually it may be working, guys. The reason why it's 0 is because the file is empty, of course. Oh, so stupid. So this one has 0 bytes in it, so that's why it's length 0. So this, let's see if we can add this. This is the model with tons of stuff in it, right? How much information? So let's save that and let's run the test again and look at the length now. It's possible that's the reason why this was failing. Actually, everything was working. It was just not getting that. Let me see. I got excited there. May not work, but we can try. Okay. So memory stream has length now. Alright, guys. So it is working as expected. Everything is working as expected. It's just we didn't have anything in that file. So it seems like it uploads properly and it downloads it properly. Great, we are geniuses. For once we solved it without Googling. That's, I think, the biggest thing here, right? Alright, so that's good. I think that's enough for that test at least. And we obviously have done that. We can't test it down at the same time. So we have to wait now for support, I guess, for something else here. And is there anything else we can do here? Or we could test a download here and make sure that we get the file not found exception if you wanted to. But I think we're good. Let's focus on the workflow file instead now. So I think we have an issue for this already. Cool, that'd be awesome. Sure, I think we have 28 and 102 here. So let's go ahead and add 102 as the branch here. So new branch, issue 102, create branch, bring my changes over, cancel, what are you doing? Okay, I don't want these stuff though. What is it doing? Something I did now. Let me see if I can change this again. Issue 102, please change. Sure, let's create this based off this one, it's fine. Does that help? Okay. Hopefully that helps. Alright, so we have a text file for our model here, right? We have our new test project. We have one test for now with this local thing. And we did some other small changes here. That's all good. So right now we've added integration tests. Yeah, I actually like this little desk a lot actually. You just need to find where things are. But I never tried source tree. So maybe I should do that. For Azure. Okay, so let's what we're gonna do now is create the actual workflow file here. So if you do that, we can. So the branch explorer is going to be. It's a good question. Yeah, see, here's the branch explorer. I can just go here and just pick stuff right here, and I have my repositories here. So it's pretty simple. I think it's very sleek, honestly. And if I need anything more advanced, like cherry picking or Git, something like that, I can go to the command line instead and do that. So it's definitely not like a full suite but it's like simple and easy for like the most basic stuff I do. Yeah, yeah, history stuff is there as well. Yep, you can go in history right here, and you can go into each of them and look at files. So yeah. All right, so I wanted to go and look at the workflow file. So we have our GitHub workflow files here, right? So what we can do is just copy paste this one, and we can call this integration tests Azure, for example. Very, very good name. And we'll change this to Azure here. Cool, I'll have a look at it later. Azure. Yeah, we're looking. Oh, I see. Okay, I think I had some colleagues using this actually. Yeah, and yeah, they don't really have this though, and I guess that'd be useful for sure. I mean, it's definitely a cool feature, but they don't have this for sure. Doesn't exist. Yep. The graph is a really cool thing, but it's not in this tool. Alright, so the difference here is that we're gonna use the same thing here, but we do need to put a category for our test as well. So let's do that real quick here. Don't go anywhere, please. Okay. So we'll say category here, test category. We'll call integration tests Azure. Okay. And that's fine. Go large that if you want to. And let's see. That's all good. There was something I wanted to do here. Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna go back here. Right? Because we wanted to change this. So instead of running the SQL Server test here, we want to run the Azure ones. Otherwise it's the same. So now we go back to these things here. Yeah, you can reach me on Twitter if you want to. That's probably the easiest one to reach me on. Twitter is kind of where I live nowadays. Let me post my Twitter handle here. My DMs are open, so you can definitely reach me there if you wanted to. Oh, you don't have Twitter? Twitter is the easiest way for sure. You can also reach me on LinkedIn if you want to. There's also Whisper, I think, on Twitch. And I can check Twitch as well for Whispers, so you can check that if you want to. Okay. Alright, so we have added that. So now we have to go and see if we can add. We have to change this, right? Yeah, I got you. The image here. So it's a different image that we had before. Instead of SQL Server, now we have the Azure image. So let's go for Docker Hub. So it's called this, right? That's useful. Change that image to that. And what else do we need here? We don't need any passwords, I think. We do need to get a ports listing properly, so that should be pretty straightforward. And what else do we need to do here? I don't think we need anything else. We just need that, I think. So we can remove all of these environmental variables here in this case. Does that look good to you guys? Anything you think you're missing? I think that's everything we need right now. And we can try to get this running by pushing this and opening a PR. Let's open up a PR here. And I'm gonna open up a PR against, let's see, against this one for now, because base that branch of that, and we'll merge that one first. 34. Added. Creation tests and running them. Could you explain what you mean with staging branch, though? Is there a specific type of branch? Like a development branch instead of master? Is that what you're trying to say? You can just make your own branch if you wanted to. That's the easiest thing. Just get master and yeah, I mean, first of all, you don't have access to master, so you can't mess up master. That's number one. And second of all, if you want to contribute, what you're going to do is just fork your repo, so you can fork it to your own local GitHub repository. So like that, you can do whatever you want to. Don't have to worry about anything, honestly. So there's really no risk of messing up master, because you can't write the master anyway. Yeah, I can see it on the fork, I think. You will see like on the right here, up here, that's how many people have forked it, and you can click on it, then you get the forks as well. And then if you want to open a PR with changes from your fork branches, you can do that as well. Cool. We'll definitely have a look at it if you want to. For Azure, and start it running with an Azure write service. Alright, let's see if this starts. We will definitely, anytime you open a PR against here, you will have all the things kicking off directly. So we should see it working properly. And let me change the base here, because I think I want to make sure it kicks off a build as well. Okay. Assign myself here. So I think this one actually fixes more than one issue. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, definitely go ahead and fork it, Doda, and show me what you mean, and we can look at it together after that. I think that's easiest. 102, 28. Alright, so let's see if we get something starting here. I think what I'm gonna do here, SQL server, okay, that looks good. Okay, so I think we have to wait for this one to kick off, and that's going to run those as well. I think what I want to do is just merge this one and get that in there, because I want to have the other one kicking off properly. And doesn't seem like that one is doing that. Don't know what's going on here. I'm going to merge this one. Are you okay with me merging this one? Do you see anything here that you would like to change? Or are you okay with merging this one that involves the SQL Server integration tests in a GitHub Service container? And we can review it on the stream instead. Any objections? Not where I want to go. I'm addressing everyone on the stream. Perfect. Okay, awesome. I'm putting the PR here, at least in here. I think I'll go ahead and merge it for now, because I want to get other one going. So I'll say viewed as part of stream. Perfect, because that's going to be easier for this one here. So let's see now if we can get this one to run. Yes, there's connection string, but that's local password. It doesn't really matter at all. The only password in there is the password is for container itself, and there's no harm with that password being in there. But yeah, I mean, ideally we could have it in a user secret, we could have it in a key vault, but it's honestly, there's no benefit. All it's going to do is the specific container we have when we run that integration test. So I thought about putting it in somewhere else, but there is no gain of doing that. It's like the basic password. And I don't seem to... this one is still not looking at master properly. Let me change the base here real quick. Maybe we'll start refreshing. Okay, here we go. So now it figured out that we have done. So now it's just looking at the Azure integration test workflow here. And this project. Awesome. Alright, so let's see if we can get this one to build properly. I don't seem to... Yes, it runs on Ubuntu, yeah. I don't know which one is latest is actually. I think GitHub Action just picks the latest one, whatever that it may be, if it's 1604 or something else. Don't know. Let me... so this one is running. Yeah, it's possible. We can definitely have an issue there. But I think we're good. Alright, I'm trying to figure out if... okay. So why is it not starting? That's what I'm wondering. Let me close and reopen this one. Yeah. Well, I think... here we go. Now it's going. Okay, good. Yay. Okay, let's see if this passes. This is kind of what I want to see here. So we have the CI build now, and we have our integration test now for SQL Server, and we have it also for Azure here. So I'm curious about the Azure one. That's really what I'm curious about here. So let's look at this one. Hopefully this is going to pass. This is a great suggestion to learn more about Azure doing this. I really like how we can run this all in parallel in source containers, make it really sleek and easy. It's a really nice thing to do. Alright, so it's installing dependencies. Building it. We got so many projects right now. Alright, I'm gonna try to find the Azure one here. I think it will find one, hopefully. We have one test file matching it, that's good. But the container seems to be working, so it seems to be fine in a container, which is good. Let's see now if we are also lucky with the file here or not. That may or may not be the case, you know. It failed, okay, it failed. So why is it failing? Is it because I can't find the file, or retry 6 times? Okay. Connection refused to our Azure connection here. Interesting. Alright, so we have some issues with that. That's good to know. And we have to figure out what's going on here. So something here is not working as expected. I wonder if we need some... I think it was started. I think that's fine. I think it may have been like a port that we need to change here. So we can look at the PR real quick here. Yeah. So we have decided to have the run on you want the latest, right? We have this image, Azurite, which is good. And it's the same image I think we're running locally. So let's look at that. So we see here that we are... we could do the latest, I guess. That would probably be better. But I think that's done by default, so I don't think we need to do that. I think it has to do with ports though. Currently have those ports open. I don't think so. Let me see here. Oh, okay. I think the issue here is that we want 1000, not 1001 here, because 1001 seems to be the queue service one, but 1000 seems to be the blob storage that we actually want here. We only have one port open, which is the 1001 here, but we don't need that because we don't need necessarily the specific one. But we could definitely update this real quick here. So I think we can do is just do that. And that should work, I think, right? Anything else we need to do here? Let's try that. Let's see if that works better. Hopefully it does, but who knows? Let's see the PR builds. And if this works, what I'll do later is I'll go ahead and go in after the stream. I'll go ahead in branch securities and protection, and I'll make sure that all these are required, so we don't miss anything here. Just to make sure we can't merge something without all of our tests passing. I think that makes sense. Building, come on. It's really cool actually to see all this at the same time here. So CI build works fine. Integration tests here are failing. Come on. Okay, now it's better. So we have ports open properly, but we don't have the right file here instead. And it's because I have the wrong slash here. Is that the issue? Where is this going to? I may just have put it in the wrong place. Source, and if you go into Azure somewhere, integration tests here, bin, bug, well it would be release I guess. So that would be bin, release, core C1, data. It should be copied over, so I'm wondering if it's just a slash here that's not playing nicely. Let's change that real quick, that's fine. Actually, what we can do is almost, well, I'll put it there, it's fine. This is like the tedious part of running these things, right? Is to make sure they actually work. And you can actually run this locally one more time to make sure that this is actually true. Because that would be good if it works. Okay. Let's see. Let's push that. That obviously failed. So that's running. What else can we do with this one? Quite a few things, I think. It's a pretty cool thing for sure. Yeah, I think so at least. We're gonna see if it's running locally or not now. I think you have to do with a path here. Yeah, it's running locally. I think it's the path to the file. We'll see if that's the case or not. Oh, look at that! It all passed now. Alright. So the path was the issue here, but now it's working as expected. Everything's working, I think. I think the only last one here is that. It's running the SQL Server test right now. Yes, look at that. Pass, pass, pass. Just waiting for SQL Server. Ready for a review. Can you do like a celebratory mark here? We'll do a medal because I think that's fantastic. Alright, cool. Well, that was a fun stream, guys. During this 1.5 hours, what we've done here is we have added different workflows here in GitHub Actions. So we have like a workflow for SQL Server integration test in a SQL Server container. And we've also, thanks to some help from you guys on the stream today, added support for Azure. So now we can run SQL Server in Azure instance as well. So really cool stuff, and we're not paying anything for this, which is awesome. So thank you for joining in today. Again, I probably won't be streaming tomorrow. I'll probably be taking the day off and enjoying that. But I will definitely be back soon again, and I will be active in the GitHub repo, so you can reach me there and any questions. And we'll just keep going at it, guys. So thank you again for joining the stream today. Have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you again shortly. Alright, bye bye guys.